Hey everybody, Techno Guy Canada here. So, here is our Google Wi-Fi system, 3 access points, and I'm going to try to set it up for you. According to this, it says plug in your first Wi-Fi point, then connect it to your modem with the Ethernet cable. Download the Wi-Fi app and follow the instructions. So, let's do exactly what it says. Usually I would connect the Ethernet cable first, but we will plug this in. It's got a little light on there. Then I'm going to connect the Ethernet cable, which is going to my existing router, not my modem. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to let that do its thing. Now it is pulsing blue. I don't know if that's really noticeable, but it is doing something. We're going to launch the Google Wi-Fi app. I'm using a Nexus 7 tablet here. Good, reliable tablet. Let's see here now. Actually, let's add an account real quick. Here we go. Alright, so it's slowly pulsing blue, and I'm going to log in with my Techno Guy Canada Gmail address here and set this up. We need to put the password in off camera here. There we go. Oh. Okay, accept the terms. This guy is still slowly pulsing. So far I think we're at about 2 minutes, maybe about 1.5 minutes. So we're going to skip the payment information. We are going to go here. So it says let's get Google Wi-Fi set up. So again, these two guys are disconnected, not plugged in. We hit get started. It's telling me to turn on location services, which it is. Okay. Allow it. It says looking for device. Now I've seen mixed reviews on this setup process. It says I can scan the code. So let's see what we've got here. Let's go. There is the code. It has found it. It says got the code. Connecting to Wi-Fi. This is still doing the same blue pulse. Now I know this isn't exciting, but I think that's the point. I don't think it's supposed to be exciting. I think it's supposed to be easy. Checking internet connection now. Let's see here. Taking a little longer than I anticipated it would. Okay. So I have seen a few other videos where this was quick, and I've seen a few videos where it didn't work at all. Now this Ethernet cable here, this salmon, orange, pink colored cable, it is going up to a network switch, which is connected directly to my router. Now, it said it failed, so we'll try again. I'm fairly certain that this is plugged in, so we failed once. Let's try again. found the code again, so the QR code scanning is working properly. Try this again. It says checking internet connection. May have to fast forward this in the post-production. Like I said, I'm very certain that that pink cable is connected to my switch. Now, I had used it previously for a wired access point that I didn't really have any issues with, but as you can see, it just keeps going around and around. So I think what I'm gonna do here, if it fails again, I will swap out that cable for a different one and see what happens. Failed to complete setup. Well, like I said, let's give it a pause and I will switch the cable and see what happens. Okay, we are back. Let's try this again. So, in my haste, I may have plugged the Ethernet cable into the wrong port. There's one with a little globe and one that's clearly Ethernet, so I'm going to assume this is the WAN port or the internet port. I had it plugged into this guy. So, my bad. Even a techno guy can make a mistake sometimes. The important part is don't get upset about it. So, we have scanned the code. We are now progressing, connecting to the Wi-Fi point. Let's see what happens. Preparing Wi-Fi point. I believe that is already one step further. So where is your Wi-Fi point? I will choose basement for this guy, the main access point. Set up the Wi-Fi name. Let's call it Googly. And let's give it a temporary password. Create that. It's still doing the same slow blue blinking light. I guess that's okay. I expected a little more interaction from the light, but I guess the app tells you everything you need to know, really, so not a big deal. I have set up the on hub. Oh, there you go. The light has changed color. It says creating your network. It says connecting. So you can see here it has disconnected from my router upstairs, and it is now attempting to connect to this guy over here. Let's see what happens. Put that back down. So now it says, how many more points would you like to add? So I am going to set up one more point. I will need the power cord for that. And what I'm going to do, again, this is something I've learned from other videos online. Now the little trick here is to set up the access points close by, ensure they get the proper information and they set up correctly, and then you can unplug them and relocate them. Not too far away, of course, like any kind of wireless. These are communicating wirelessly with each other, so like anything else that's wireless, you don't want it to be too far away. You want to give it a good, strong signal to repeat. So I'm going to say, well, we'll say one more for now. I'll hit next. It says activating mesh network. Place your last Wi-Fi point. Additional points work best if they're no more than 2 rooms away. Also try putting them in an open space. So, hit the next button. It says plug in the Wi-Fi point, which we will do now. There you go. She's alive. I'm going to place it just off camera here. What the heck. I'll put it right here. We're going to hit next. We will call this one the dining room because that's where it will end up. and I will hit next. The Google Wi-Fi app needs Bluetooth to set up. Okay. So let's go into Bluetooth, turn that on. We hit OK. It says looking for your device. So again, not the most action-packed video I've had, but let's see how this works. So this guy is doing the same slow blue pulsing strobe that the first one did. It says it found the Wi-Fi point. It said it is connecting to the Wi-Fi point. And let's see here. This guy is acting the same. This guy still has kind of a light blue, almost white kind of light, and this one is pulsing dark blue. It says preparing Wi-Fi point, expanding your Wi-Fi network. So I'm assuming it's programming the wireless, the additional mesh point. It says adding, making good progress, and making sure everything is in order right now. So it's very user-friendly, using very easy to understand terminology. And it's now got a bit of a teal light. Now it's a same as this guy now, very similar light. I don't know if you can tell. So it says now let's test the connection between your Wi-Fi points. So this should obviously be excellent because they are about 12 inches apart from each other. And let's see what it says about that. Now the third access point, see this guy's actually going orange now, red, orange. It says everything looks good. The Wi-Fi point is ready to go. So this guy's still glowing orange. Let's see here. It says basement is the primary Wi-Fi point. Dining room is a mesh Wi-Fi point. Installing the latest software. So this says this will take 6 to 10 minutes to install. Obviously, I won't make you watch that, but what I am going to do is I will set up the third access point. So I'm going to place this guy about 60 feet away, one corner of my house, on a different floor. I'm going to leave this guy in the basement. I'm going to put this one at one corner on the first floor. I'm going to put this guy at the other corner of the house on the second floor. And I will give you the results once it's all set up, and then we will compare them to the performance of my Asus AC1900 router, which is being used in conjunction with a Netgear AC1900 wireless repeater, which I get very good performance out of. So we're going to see how this compares to that. So stick around, and I'll be back in just a minute. Hey everybody, welcome back. So here we are in the app, and I've plugged in the third point, the second wireless point. We're going to go over here. We're going to go to set up Wi-Fi point. All right, let's see what happens here. So again, the first one I set up right next to the router. I'd seen other people have issue with that. So here it says, we adding or creating? So let's add it to Googly, which we had set up previously. It says place your next Wi-Fi point. I've done that. It is plugged in. We'll call this one master bedroom. It says turn on Bluetooth. We're going to turn on the Bluetooth. Let's see what happens here. We'll hit OK. It's searching for the device. So the second, the first wireless point, I moved to the dining room, plugged it in. It was up and running in 30 seconds. So it's asking me to scan the QR code, which we will do right now. Let's see here. All right. There we go. So let's see what happens now. I'm expecting it to work just like the other point did. And I'm also expecting it to require a firmware update like the other two did. Now, I don't know if they will just transfer that firmware to this access point or if I'm going to have to sit through another 7-8 minute download. I guess we will find out. As you can see, it says it's adding the Wi-Fi point, making good progress. There's our check mark. The access point itself, I know you can't see it, but it is now flashing kind of like a teal color, and it's basically white right now. I'm assuming that means it's all good. Let's see what the app says. Should have a result here in just a second. And again, the other two did go through a firmware update, so I think this guy will as well. Wants to test it. So again, we've got one in the basement, which is about, I mean, through the floors, maybe 25 feet away from where we are right now, maybe 30 feet. The second point, wireless point, is in the dining room, which is, you know, about 60 feet away from the first one, maybe 50 feet. This all looks good. And there you go, installing the latest software. So we are going to pause while this takes place, and I will get back to you. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and please feel free to send me emails at technoguycanada@gmail.com. We'll let this software update finish, and we will test the performance and see how this Google Wi-Fi system works. Okay, so here you see it says Google Wi-Fi is ready. Let's explore all the nifty things that Google Wi-Fi can do. So you can see Googly is online. We have 3 Wi-Fi points, 2 devices are connected, and you can see the devices in real time, which is the Nexus 7 and my phone that I'm using right now. Let's go back here. So let's see here. We've got notification tab here. Tells you everything looks fine. We've got some tools here. Oh, my phone just went into battery saver mode here. Let's see if I can. That's okay. We're good. So you can see here we have network check, priority devices, show password, more actions. Nope. Network in general. Let's see here. So Wi-Fi access points. You can adjust the brightness of the access points. You can add more of these access points. It comes with 3, the kit. You can also buy them individually. They're actually supposedly a decent router on its own. So let's go into advanced networking, because one thing I like to show you here is if I use trusty Fing here, it says that our IP address is 192.168.86.24. So interesting IP scheme, definitely. Let's go back here. Let's see if we can adjust those settings here. So if we go to DHCP IP reservations, no. Let's see here, network mode is set automatically, it says here. If we go to DNS is set automatically. WAN. You cannot edit these settings right now. Show me how. Wi-Fi point must be offline and powered on to edit WAN settings. Disconnect the Ethernet cable from the primary Wi-Fi point. Wait for the light to pulse amber. Ensure the mobile device is connected. So you can change it, but some people might find that a little, a little challenging, but not bad. UPnP is enabled by default, as is the case in most routers today. So let's take a quick look here at our Wi-Fi scanner. And I'm only going to really focus on the 5G, because that's really what I care about. So my other network using an Asus router and a Netgear repeater is the NAPS 55, and the NAPS 55 EXT is the Netgear repeater. You can see Googly is right in the middle there. I'm not far. Actually, I'm kind of in between the bedroom access point and my Netgear repeater. So, I mean, I'm thinking I'm actually exactly in between. So, at a quick glance, I'd say the Netgear is stronger. It has three, medium size external antennas. So that's not shocking. The coverage is okay. I mean, I'm literally 10 or 12 feet away from the bedroom access point, and I would have expected it to be better. Actually, I don't know what that is that just popped up there. That's really interesting. So let's take another break here. I'm going to try a different location. So here I am. I'm above the dining room access point. As you can see, Googly is now on top by a hair. The NAPS EXT, which is, again, I'd say a little further away than the Googly access point, is still shining. So right now the Google Wi-Fi is not benefiting our house. Let's try another location. What are you doing? Okay, so I've been around the house. I've done some speed tests. I've measured the reception using Wi-Fi analyzer. And as you might expect, what you're looking at is all about location. The speed test that you see on the screen right now is the dining room access point, which was, again, approximately 50 feet away on one floor up. Now this is what I would consider a pretty typical setup in an average size home, especially if my home was larger. I mean, it would be at least that far away. And the speed is disappointing. Now look at this speed result. This is the same access point plugged in almost directly above the main Google Wi-Fi router, the wired point. So point number one is wired. This is the same exact access point, the dining room access point, sitting approximately 12 to 15 feet away, one floor up. You can see the speed is very good. This is the speed coming right off of the main access point. So we're losing only about 40 megabits, less than 40 megabits on the download. Upload is basically the same. So my takeaway from this is that the small size of these Google Wi-Fi points may be attractive, but I think because of its small size, it suffers a little bit as far as reception. Now, I'm not saying they're not strong when compared to some other routers, but compared to other access points, professional access points, high-quality access points like Arachnus or Ruckus, they're a little weaker than that. And again, because of their small size and they are depending on the internal antennas, receivers, as their link, I think they suffer because of their size. My main network at home right now is an Asus RT AC68 router with an EX7000 Netgear repeater. Now the EX7000 is quite large. It's the size of a router, basically, a full-size router with 3 external antennas. And I believe the receiving antenna in that is large because it's just as far away from the main router as the dining room access point was from the main Google router. And the speed is great. I get over 100 megabits through it consistently, where you can see here a little bit of distance between the main point and the secondary point. And, performance, this is still usable. Absolutely. This is still a usable system. Performance is acceptable. But for $500, that's with tax, it's $439. I think I would probably recommend for an average size house, I'd say get a good router like an Asus or Netgear AC1900 router, and use the Netgear EX7000 or comparable, high performance wireless AC 1900 repeater, and I feel like that's going to give you a more consistent performance. The Google app is nice, but the odd IP address scheme is a little peculiar, and I know from other videos and other reviews that the Google router here is limited in what it can do. It gives you basic functionality, which, for some people is enough, but if you like to do some advanced network configurations, VPN access, things like that, this won't do that. So for $439, although you do get 3 access points, I feel like you're better off spending that on a $200, $250 good router, even $300 on a really good Asus or Netgear router, and spend that $150, $160 on the EX7000 repeater. Set them up. They both have their own apps. You can turn off Wi-Fi, you can restrict access, parental controls, you can do VPN. There's custom firmware available for those. I think that's the way to go. I think mesh is a fad. I think they will improve. But for now, I think you're better off using a router and wired access points, which these can be, and I will test that as well to see if there's any benefits or downfalls. But as far as people buying this, the primary use is going to be as a wireless access point system, a mesh network. And that term mesh is a little deceiving. Your phone does not treat the access points as one giant network. It does have to jump from one to the other. Depending on your device, it can be quick, so it could be mesh-like, but this is not a true mesh network. That is still a feature for very, very high-end wireless access point systems. I'm going to give the Google Wi-Fi an overall of an 8, which is good. But I think my current setup at home that I have now, I would still give it about a 9, because it's very fast. I get good coverage all over the house with just 2 points that are very strong. These are 3, I'd say, medium-high strength points. So depending on the shape of your home, the layout, maybe you want access on the back deck, things like that. I mean, there's a reason to get the 3 points. But I think most homes will be happy with a strong router and a strong repeater, or a strong router and a second wired access point. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I was a little bit long-winded. I hope you can appreciate that I wanted to show you some of the setup and basic features, and I will continue looking out for some good values, but looks like the search for the perfect Wi-Fi is still out there. They're getting closer, they're getting better, they're getting easier. But keep your eye on my channel, and I will do everything I can to find you that perfect Wi-Fi and any other tech that I think will make your life better. So again, thanks for watching. This is Techno Guy Canada saying see you next time. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And please send me emails and suggestions at technoguycanada@gmail.com, or leave a comment in the video all the way down at the bottom. Thank you very much.